been over 40 days since the so-called peace agreement has been signed, but there's still no unfettered humanitarian access to Tigray. Phone lines haven't been reconnected, basic services haven't been resumed, and Eritrean and Amhara forces are still in Tigray committing all kinds of unspeakable crimes to the people of Tigray. Meanwhile, world leaders are applauding the war criminal Abiy Ahmed for making peace. From the onset, the Tigray war was characterized by indiscriminate and wholesale attacks against the civilian population of Tigray. The atrocities committed by the Ethiopian and allied forces amount to war crimes, crimes against humanity, and acts of genocide. A particularly gruesome defining feature of the ongoing genocide against the people of Tigray have been the extensive weaponization of rape and the widespread prevalence of conflict-related sexual violence. Far from being an inevitable byproduct of war, conflict-related sexual violence is a crime under international, criminal, and human rights laws. Perpetrators of conflict-related sexual violence in Tigray were state-armed groups and their proxies, including Ethiopian, Eritrean, and regional Amhara forces. These attacks were directed against the Tigrayan people and took place in a climate of impunity precipitated by a war declared by the Ethiopian federal government. Women and girls, as well as boys and men in Tigray, have been subjected to rape, often perpetrated by groups of armed men. There have been numerous reports of sexual slavery, with women and girls held captive for days or weeks. Survivors have been told during the course of these attacks that the perpetrators seek to impregnate them, with the intent of eliminating the Tigrayan bloodline. Moreover, instances of extremely violent and brutal enforced sterilization by armed groups have been reported. The scale of the conflict-related sexual violence in Tigray is staggering both in its magnitude and brutality. Per the United Nations Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, the acts of sexual violence against Tigrayans were committed with the intention to make the target group infertile, cleanse the bloodline, and erase identity as indicated by the perpetrators fit the definition of genocidal rape. In the light of the above information, we call upon the European Union to recognize the conflict gender-based violence experienced by the women and girls of Tigray as a genocidal rape. It is now the time to end the use of sexual violence in the Tigray conflict. It's time that perpetrators are identified and held accountable. It's now been almost 2 months since the peace deal was announced after both sides of the Tigray conflict, of the Tigray genocide, agreed to a cessation of hostilities. But what is peace when Tigray is still under siege? What is peace when the tickling aid that reached Tigray couldn't even last 2 days? What is peace when survivors of sexual violence still don't have access to their necessary treatment? What is peace when Tigrayans are still terrorized daily by invading Eritrean and Amhara forces? What is peace when Tigrayans still do not have access to their own bank accounts and when Tigray is still under a communication blackout? What is peace when there's no accountability? What is peace when there's no justice? Where is the peace that you are all applauding Abiy Ahmed for? There needs to be a greater accountability as part of the peace deal, and the women of Tigray must be included in the peace process to help ensure their access both to justice and to comprehensive support and medical care. End the siege! End the siege! End the siege on Tigray! Break the siege on Tigray!
Break the siege in Tigray!
Break the siege on Tigray!
Break the siege in Tigray!
Allow access to Tigray!
Allow access to Tigray!
Allow access to Tigray!
Allow access to Tigray!
Allow humanitarian 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 access to Tigray!
Tigray can't wait!
Tigray cannot wait!
Tigray can't wait!
Tigray cannot wait!
Tigray can't wait!
Tigray can't wait!
Break the siege!
Break the siege!
Break the siege!
Break the siege!
Break the siege on Tigray!
Break the siege in Tigray!
Break the siege on Tigray!
Break the siege in Tigray!
Reconnect 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 Tigray!
Eritrean troops out of 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 Tigray!
Amhara militia 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 out of Tigray!
All invading forces out of Tigray!
All over the citizens of Tigray!
All invading forces out of Tigray!
law enforcement of Tigray.